A very good morning, students. In the last slides, we have discussed the time and space complexity and we have looked at some examples. Like in the first example, we have added two numbers without using any variable, and the time complexity of this is two operations for the return statement and the addition operation. Then in the second example, we have used three variables, so the space complexity is 3, and there are two operations, one for addition, one for assignment, and another operation for return, so total 3 operations are there. Then we looked at an example with an if statement. Now in this if block, this comparison operator will always execute, so it is one operation. And here there is a equal to and minus sign. So there are two operations. Now out of these two, only one of the statements will get executed. So in total for this whole block, two operations will be performed. And then return C, one operation. So total of 4 operations. And total number of variables being used is 3. So the space complexity is 3. Then we looked at this example with a for loop. Now in this for loop, the assignment will take one operation, then execution from 1 till n will take n plus 1 operations, and n for increment operations. So total 2n plus 2 operations will be there, and within this for loop, this statement will get executed n times, and there are two operations involved, so total 2 into n operations will be there. So s is equal to 0 is one operation, return s is one operation, so total of 4n plus 4 operations are getting performed in this loop. Now taking another example of multiple loops. Okay, this is also a simple example. In the next example, we will be doing multiple loops. Here we are looking at multiplication of two arrays. So there is a for loop from 1 to n with a step count of 1. So whenever there is a loop from 1 to n with a step count of 1, the complexity is going to be 2n plus 2, which we have seen in the previous slide. And this statement, it has two operations, and this statement is going to get executed n times. So its complexity is 2n. So total complexity is 4n plus 2. And the space complexity will be, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 operators. And now one thing is A, B and C. The three of them, these are arrays. Therefore, they are going to take 3n of space because each of them has a size of n, and each of them is n plus n plus n. Therefore, it is 3n. And how many extra variables are there? I is there and n is there. So 2. So 3n plus 2 is the space complexity of this algorithm. So for this particular example, the space complexity is important. Then an example with the double loop. Now in this we have a for statement. Within this we have another for statement, and then we are printing some values on the screen. Now this for loop is going to take 2n plus 2 steps. This for loop will get executed n times, and each time the complexity will be 2n plus 2. So we have n times 2n plus 2, which will come out to be 2n square plus 2n when we multiply this n with this value. And print I into j will give you a complexity of, there are two operations, multiplication and printing. So 2 is used here. Now this outer loop is going to run n times, inner loop is going to run n into n times. So this particular statement will get executed n into n times, so it is 2n square. So what is the total complexity? 2n plus 2 plus 2n square plus 2n plus 2n square, which comes out to 4n square plus 4n plus 2. So this is how we will calculate the complexity for a double loop, and the space complexity of this algorithm is, how many variables are there? There is n, I and j. Therefore the space complexity is 3 variables. Another example with a double loop and an if else within the double loop. So there is a for loop, there is another for loop. Within that for loop we have a if else block. So this particular for loop will execute 2n plus 2 times. This loop will execute n times, and within those n times its complexity is 2n plus 2 times. And this statement will get executed n times into n times, so its complexity is n square. And out of these two, one of them will get executed. Therefore, the total complexity of this block will be n square. So total complexity of this algorithm is 4n square, because this will become 2n square. So 2n square plus n square plus n square is 4n square, and this is 2n plus 2n, so 4n, n plus 2 is the complexity of this algorithm. And the space complexity is how much? There are 1, 2, 3 arrays, so 3n. And how many variables? I and n. 2 variables are there. So 3 arrays and 2 variables will give you a complexity of 3n plus 2.